Hold on, this little thing on my screen needs to go away. Okay. I have definitely been not active on here. I just think that rest has been so important for me recently. I honestly still not know even the reasons why. And that's okay. Because sometimes you don't need answers. And sometimes you don't need answers yet. There's a difference between the two things. Wanting answers for everything is just gonna make you more prone to the lessons where you're led to not know the answer and finally be okay with not knowing the answer. Hold on, this looks crazy. Do you guys like my new painting? I did this one. It's like totally different color than this. Let me see if I can. Is this better? This might be a little better. I don't know yet. Let's see. Do you guys like the rainbow? I do not like the rainbow. Maybe this one. It's a little too dark. I think I like the white. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I was gonna keep my room light on, but I might not. This is my new painting. This one, it's supposed to basically represent me and my significant other. Just how I see our relationship. Like this was my most recent painting. But I felt like going live was a good way to come back to the YouTube stuff, cause I don't know. I think that, like I said before, rest is very important, and especially for me because I always have something to do, or I always have, this really big goal for myself, or multiple of them, and then I end up overworking myself, and then I'm just always in this constant cycle of working a lot, making lots of goals for myself that are kind of unrealistic. Not unrealistic because I think that you can do anything, but unrealistic for my circumstances at the moment. Which I can also do something about, but let's just not even bother with this anymore, because that's something I need to figure out. I don't even know. Everything recently has just been a bunch of stuff crumbled into a ball, and it's like just now unraveling. Like that's how everything is feeling right now. I just got back from a vacation. Not just, but recently. I don't know. I haven't been recording like I usually would every day because I don't know. I guess I was just disappointed because I put so much of my time and effort into editing my most recent videos. And I was just disappointed with how much, they didn't, how do I put this, come up to my expectations, I guess. But I always end up realizing that. And in some way, there's always just a constant circle of realizing you're expecting too much or you're not expecting enough. And it's just over and over again. So it's just, that's where I'm at right now. I expected a little too much. I don't know. I guess I'm not going to say that I'm settling for not being a vlog girly. A travel vlog girly, whatever they're called. But I guess that I have a certain demographic basically, and maybe you guys just don't want to see that stuff, which is completely understandable because it was so out of my normal recordings and stuff, so it's kind of, not probably what you guys expected unless you watched my video or videos before I put those ones out, where I was talking about how I was going to record that vacation. And I also did put all the days I was there out in singular videos, so maybe it would have been a smarter idea to put them all into one, but I digress. It doesn't matter now. You guys like my shirt? It's so cute. But anyway. Yeah, I guess I was just really disappointed, and then oh, that was a bad stutter. I guess I was just really disappointed, and I'm always here to give you guys the real and tell you guys how I'm feeling. And that just made me feel so crappy, honestly. I was just like I don't even want to record videos anymore. But also, like, girl, if you don't get up and record that video. So everything's just been about rest lately, so I haven't had really any topics to speak about that, you know, were relatable with my current time. You know, I haven't had any like super crazy lessons to learn recently, so there hasn't been any videos for me to put out, except for the fact that I literally have been very unmotivated or just disappointed with how things have been, you know, how do I word this? Disappointed with the work that I'm putting into certain things and they aren't coming how I expected them, but also I shouldn't even be expecting things in the first place, because there's just a whole thing I could go down. There's multiple different paths I could even speak about, and I don't even know which one I agree with. So it's just like everything's been so not stagnant, but just like quiet and still, and I don't know, I'm getting kind of bored with being still and quiet, so I'm back. I'm back and maybe better than ever. We don't know yet, but I don't really have much to talk about. I figured coming on here was the best way to come back to you guys, but I don't really know that's true. I probably should have recorded a video, but like I said before, I do not have any topics to talk about, so it's just right now it's just a stressful time for me. Not stressful, well, maybe, but it's more like so unfamiliar with the stillness that it's just like, what's really going on behind the scenes? I don't know. So that's what's going on. I have no idea what is going on behind the scenes, but I know that I really have not been doing anything except hanging out with my significant other and feeling very quiet. Yeah, I'm trying to get through a video. I'll be right back with you in a little bit past half. Cool. But yeah, everything's just so not the creative flow that I was in before. Like, whatever, you know, flow I was in from the beginning of my YouTube to about 8 or 9 days ago has just completely disappeared between those 8 days. And it's just been very not hard, because I really could have just gotten up and recorded a video and just put it out anyway, but it has been very difficult for me to have topics to speak about, and it has been difficult for me to want to get up and record these videos, you know. And just like anybody else watching this, I am human, you know. I have these random days of stillness that my soul might need, you know. So it's just like right now, I'm just so surrendered to whatever force, whatever power, or whatever is integrating within me, or whatever is growing or expanding or shrinking, even. I'm just letting it, honestly, because the more I try to fight resting when I know I should be resting, the more it like takes me out. Like I literally was out for over a week. Like, you guys, I don't know how long you've been watching me or if you've just found me through this, but I am a person that I need to have something to do. And even honestly, I have been in bed a few days, or I've been at someone else's house, or not someone else's, my significant other's house, literally relaxing. Like, there's literally nothing else I could tell you guys I was really doing. I have this book that I bought between those 8 days. How funny is this? The Art of Stopping. So it just seems like right now, this is just the most main focus. This is the season of life that I am in right now. And I haven't even really gotten around to reading this book. Like, this is as far as I am right now. I have these little diamond dot art thing that I've been doing that's a lotus, and it's like rainbow colors, but there's really nothing else I've been doing. I haven't even watched any of my videos back. I've just been so off of my YouTube and so off of like anything that I'm really interested in doing recently. And I just hate feeling that way, but I know that whatever this, abrupt stop in my creative flow, whatever it is, whatever it's serving me, I know that it does serve me well in some way, shape, or form. And I guess my most prevalent message right now, at least, is that your creative flow might stop so that your creative flow could flow to something new. And I also did want to update you guys on this writing stuff that I've been talking about. If you guys watched my deleting social media video, I talked about emailing these writing companies, which I don't even know if they were real companies or not, but they never got back to me. Like, I think I emailed 3 different ones. None of them got back to me, so don't really know what that's about. I guess none of them had the time of day, but whatever. What else? I've been trying to find my personal art. I've been trying to find my personal art uniqueness, whatever, my personal art style, and I feel like this one really does speak to me in some weird way. I don't know if there's any people that like art watching this. Basically, this is me and my significant other, or me and my significant other, whatever. It's just a bunch of random colors that I decided to pick up, which honestly go together so beautifully. It's literally like tan, really bright orange, really bright teal, like you could see it right here. And like a really light, did I say light orange already? Well, if I did, then dark orange too. And then tan, brown, just a bunch of like colors you wouldn't think go together. But basically there's a swirl right here that represents one person, and then another one that, which way does it come from? It comes from around this one, so like it goes like that, basically. I don't know, I just feel like it's very different, so I put it on my wall. It doesn't really go here, honestly, with all those colors, but there's my sewing machine. But haven't really done any other art besides that. I started another canvas, which is essentially the same idea as this, but with like singularly painted different colors, and it's supposed to be like the trace of a man and a woman. Basically, that's what my next one is, but I haven't touched that canvas in a few days. So I'm thinking about just, on that one, I used a lead, like mechanical pencil, and like drew that one before I painted it, and I'm not really liking the way it looks either way, so maybe I'll just paint white over the pencil, or erase it, I don't know. But whatever I end up doing with that canvas might be essentially the same thing as this, but different colors. In my other life, I did show you guys my other paintings and drawings and my notebook, one of my notebooks. Yeah, I've just been falling out with a lot of routine stuff that I would do. I don't know, life right now is just so about being still and quiet and realizing that my answers are within me. Like, whatever I want my life to be, I can have it be that way, you know? But also, I can't expect everything to be sunshine and rainbows, because we are human. But also, being human doesn't limit us. I just want to preface that as well. I mean, technically it does, dimension-wise, but you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, honestly. What else do I have to talk about? I'll talk about my vacation. Do you guys want to hear about my vacation? So I went to upstate New York. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. And I was literally like touching these waterfalls. I was literally sitting next to it. It felt like this insane, like out of this world grounding energy that I was around. And it was just so beautiful. And where'd we go? We went to Ithaca Falls. If you guys ever have the chance to go there, please go there. It is probably gonna be a long drive, but I mean, it depends where you live. But Ithaca Falls is one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced in my life. I've went to Virginia Beach before. It is very clean. It is very beautiful there as well. That was one of my favorite vacations. What else? I've been to Florida a few times, I think. A few times, yes, but I don't know exactly when. Definitely when I was younger, though, because I haven't been in a while. But Ithaca Falls, I think one of the places I went was Cascadia or Cascadilla, whatever it was. Cascadia Falls. That one was really pretty. We went to, I think it was called Watkins Glen. It was like this hiking place, and that was one of the most craziest things ever. I mean, we were literally walking underneath million-year-old rocks, and it it's so humbling when you realize how big nature is and how kind of small you are. You know, like people are like, oh, when you're 6'2", you're super tall, but it's like, no, you're not. And that never really mattered in the first place, anyway. But anyway, I don't know. I've been trying to think of topics to record a new video for you guys, but it has been very hard. If you're watching this, it's probably like the 4th time I've said this, but it's just more of an emphasis on how difficult it's been. So please, you guys, give me some topics that I could speak about. Maybe I'll stop only limiting myself to what's been going on in my life. That seems to be more, you know, relatable to some people when I talk about my personal feelings on my life, because maybe I'm collective. Maybe I'm tapped in with the collective, you know, that I'm communicating with. So I don't know, if you guys have specific topics that you want me to speak about, then please, by all means, let me know in whatever way possible. Obviously not on Instagram, because I do not have Instagram anymore. Yeah. I do want to record a video tonight. I don't know, just about being still. And maybe not what it's taught me, but what experiences I've been having, and seeing if anybody else will relate to what I've been feeling recently. But don't know what I'm doing after I'm done with this live. Honestly, I might be going to bed. I don't know. But you guys, I've just been so exhausted. It's not even a word, bro. Like, just so not in the physical world, if that makes sense. I've been having a lot of dreams recently, and I usually don't have them a lot. And when I do have my dreams, I know that they're very, very significant, and they always end up having this crazy message. I don't want to share every bit of this dream, because it does go towards a little bit of my personal things in life. But basically, at least from what I grasped from the dream, it was essentially this like huge psychedelic trip thing, and it was crazy, honestly. And I've never had a dream feel so, what's the word, like, it made me feel very uneasy. I've also had really crazy dreams right after my grandfather passed. When he passed, I had this crazy dream of him being like killed in front of me, and it was insane, and it just kept happening over and over and over again. I opened the door, I opened my front door, and he would be like, so, and then he would fall, and then it would just be this constant loop of opening the door, and it was just crazy. That is probably the like craziest dream I've had. So if you guys have had any crazy dreams, feel free to leave it in the comments. I love hearing about this stuff. Hold on, guys, I gotta fix this. I've had some pretty crazy dreams. I have this one dream that I remember from like when I was really young for some reason. But basically, I really never had a fear of spiders ever, and I really don't at all. I think they're really cool, actually. But I had this dream when I was like super young, where I was in the back of a school bus. And if you guys have been in like school buses obviously probably have. I mean, I don't know, people live differently. But in the back of school buses, there's basically this huge, excuse me, there's basically this huge window, and the back of the school bus also opens for like emergency reasons. So I just remember like driving out of my neighborhood on this bus, and there was like this huge spider chasing the school bus, like all the way to my school, and I have no idea why I even remember this. Honestly, it's so useless and it's so dumb that I'm just like, I don't really know why that stuck with me for forever, but it did, and it still does. Whatever it means. I mean, I don't know. To this day, I don't know. And I don't really care to know either, honestly, but if the universe wants to let me know why I had that dream, the universe will let me know. But I don't think it's very relevant, you know? But anyway. What else? What other dreams do I remember? I remember in one of my dreams, there was this like courthouse behind my house. And my backyard's pretty big at my house. And there's a house behind mine. So I just remember instead of the house being behind my house, it was like a huge courthouse that was like abandoned, but it was like made of stone. I literally don't remember anything else from that dream, which is like crazy. Usually my dreams have a lot of meaning in them though, like stuff that I'm processing emotionally or like subconsciously. And it's crazy how relatable they are to my life when, you know, I start thinking of what they might mean, you know? Trying to figure out what a dream might mean to you might be dumb to some people, but to me, it is a very, very spiritual thing, and it's something that I think a lot more people should be tapped into, because a lot of people have dreams that could, you know, resemble the future or some things, which I'll get back to in a second. But I think a lot of people underestimate, and they think their dreams are so stupid, and they're like, I had this like dumb dream of like my friend getting in a car crash, and it's like, well, your friend got in a car crash in a dream. Is your friend like okay? You know? So like maybe this is your sign to like think about what recent dreams you've had and how they might represent your life or season of life that you're in at the moment. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the dreams and future and stuff. So basically, I have this weird thing, and I really don't know what it is about, but I know this might be like a relevant thing with like some people with like very, very, very high intuition or like stuff like that. Very like spiritually tapped in people. They feel like when they walk to a certain area, they get like this deja vu. Hi! They get like this deja vu that they dreamed about a place that they went to before, and it's just insane because I've had that experience so many times, and I even had it while I was on vacation as well. Like literally while I was upstate New York in these like waterfalls, walking through the rocks to get to the waterfall, I was getting this crazy like deja vu that I had been there before. Or even this just happens in the most random places. Like you look down at your feet and it looks like somewhere you've been before, but in a dream, and you're like, I don't even know how I know. But then you look up and what you saw in your dream exactly plays out how it does in real life, and it's just insane. It's like crazy because this stuff happens. Like it literally happens to me. I even remember this one time where I was walking. I don't remember where I was, but it was outside, and I look up and before this, I look at my feet and I'm getting this weird deja vu feeling, and then I look to my side, and this lady does the same thing I remember her doing. Random lady, don't know who this lady is, mind you. But she does the same thing I remember seeing her doing sometime, and usually at those moments you don't really realize that they are dreams, or like these dreams you had before, and it's just crazy. Like, it's literally insane when you realize days or even a minute after it happens, you're like, oh my gosh, that's like a dream I've had before. So if anybody knows, what that might mean, because I really haven't done any research or like, thought about it deep enough, but I don't know, maybe it's like this psychic ability thing, whatever you guys think it is. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to recording my videos, probably. Like I said before, if you guys have any topics or things you've been struggling with, please feel free to share them. This is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Safe space to share any of that stuff. I was having a conversation with my significant other today because we had realized I don't want to put our business on here, but we had realized we were at communication disconnects a little bit, I guess. So I was talking to him about something, and he was talking to me about something, and me and my boyfriend are just the perfect people for each other. Like, it's crazy. I'll get back to that in a second, but essentially we always learn something and we're always growing with each other, so it's just, my relationship is literally perfect for me and him as well. Actually, a year ago today was our first date, so that's pretty crazy. But me and him were talking to each other, and we were basically saying, like, I'm human, you're human, and we're gonna have relationship problems because we're gonna spend our lives together. Like, this is gonna happen, this is normal. And I guess there's certain things that he didn't really say he wanted help with, but I was always saying to him, like, I can help you with these things, You don't have to feel like you help me and then I don't get to help you back. It's not how it works. That's not how a partnership works. You guys work together, you know what I mean? So it's just very empowering to not realize, but re-realize, I guess, because sometimes when there's so much going on, we push a lot of things that are important, especially in relationships, to the side. And one of those things was just realizing that we are there for each other, and we don't have to, hold this mask up that makes us not like an open book to your partner. For me, my partner knows everything about me, all my experiences, all my happy things I've experienced, all my sad things I've experienced, everything that makes me angry. My partner knows me so well. Me and my partner are like open books. Like, I was literally saying to him, I was like, I'm an open book to you, and what I need from you is to be more of an open book, you know what I mean? So it was basically just a very beautiful conversation that me and him had that was very love equals partner. Never go to sleep angry, talk to everything. Yes, exactly. That is literally everything that me and my significant other say to each other. We have never gone to sleep mad at each other. We've never gone to sleep sad with each other even. It's just crazy. Like, the amount of things that are so much better in this relationship than the one I had experienced before is just astronomically insane and shows how much I've actually grown with this relationship instead of just being with someone for the title. You know what I mean? So, there's just so much that I've learned with my current relationship that literally does not compare to anything in the world, really. Like, my partner teaches me things that I don't know, and I teach him things he doesn't know. So it's like me and him are like this perfect partnership that is just literally like we're made for each other. Like, it's crazy. Like, everything in our lives kind of had its way to have us end up together in this really crazy weird way. So I don't know, recently for me it has been about honoring my rest and honoring my relationship and expanding that safe space, expanding that hey, you're human and I've experienced what you've experienced before, and if I haven't, I understand the emotion you're feeling, you know? And if I haven't experienced the way you're feeling and the experience you're having, I'm still here for you, you know? So basically with him, it was that he feels like he didn't need to reach out for help with certain things because it would have or might have not affected our relationship, but just made both of us upset. But I was basically telling him, like, it's kind of selfish to be in a partnership and not tell me how you're feeling, you know, and not want me to help you, especially with, you know, my future being this place where I want to help others just because, you know, just because I feel like that's what I'm meant to do, because I know what I'm meant to do. So he was basically like, yeah, and I want to be more open with you, and I will be more open with you. And something I noticed with my partner, which is completely different from anybody I've even spoken to or had been in a relationship with, is the fact that when he says or notices something that he does wrong, which also is a misconception that a lot of people have in relationships, which is when your partner does something wrong, you're immediately breaking up with them. I guess to some people there are certain circumstances where it is unacceptable, which would be like cheating and all that stuff that is just completely unacceptable. I understand that completely. But a lot of people think that, you know, their relationship has to be this perfect, like, picture perfect, no mistakes ever, and you guys are going to be this amazing couple without going through hardships together. What? That is so unrealistic that it's insane that you even think that might be correct. I think that it's insane that people get into relationships and break up with their partner just because they caught them in a silly little lie. Are you kidding me? Anyway, but basically, like I was saying, was something I had noticed in my relationship that is different from any other thing that I've experienced before is that whenever he says he's going to change, he actually does. And there's a noticeable difference, like completely different. If he has his mind set to one thing, he's gonna get it done. That's what's different about my partner and anybody else I've experienced before. Anybody else I share with my life with, I know that they needed maybe some of the wisdom that I have within me given to them to maybe plant seeds for their future, to maybe realize it years later. Whatever it might be, and I don't really care to know either, but my partner stays by his word, and that is one of the things that I cherish the most about him, because he could pinky promise me something and he'll have it done. or he'll find a way. If we don't have a way of getting somewhere, he'll find a way to get there. Don't worry about nothing. If we can't make this dinner tonight, he'll find a way to make the dinner tonight. Or he'll find a way to get it made in the same week. There's always a way for him. He always figures something out. And it just completely puts me in awe every time. Even if I don't express it as much to him, it's just this constant thing that I'm always thinking about. He always has a way to surprise me. The romance never dies, you know. With him, I've been with him for almost a year now, and the romance has not died at all, and I don't think it ever will, because one of the most important things in our relationship, my partnership that I have with him, is that we will not let the romance die. There is no way, because that is where a lot of relationships end up, you know, becoming this more modern day relationship where they're not really happy with each other, or there's certain things that they know about each other that makes them not really want to be with their partner anymore, things like that. And I don't know, I just could never stay in a relationship where I feel like I'm not loved the same way I was in the beginning of a relationship. Like, that's crazy. And I just feel like the longer you guys are together, the more love there should be, the more care, the more affirmations, the more, you know, things, which I understand financial stuff could get in the way if we're talking like long-term relationships. Also the whole not dating to not marry is insane. That's like, ew. So I'm very invested in this relationship, clearly. So oh, and this one too. But anyway, he's just the love of my life, like, literally. There's nothing I would change about him, and if there was something to change about him, it would be nothing. Like, he's just the perfect person for me. Like, I don't think anybody could ever understand the, like, depth of that. Like, that is my person. Like, this man was literally made for me in the perfect ways. He's taught me so many beautiful things. I just know at our wedding we're gonna be bawling our eyes out. Because even just talking to each other about, you know, how much we love each other and how much we cherish our lives with each other in it, and cherish our lives individually as well, which is also another important thing. If you are not in a relationship currently but you're looking for one, the most important thing is to find yourself before you go out finding others, because that is how you are going to attract your partner. I remember right before I had met my significant other, I was very focused. I was very focused on myself, my self-care, my self-love, my self-worth, my goals, my personal focuses, you know, like those things, like things that make you feel better about yourself, your self-esteem, the people you have around you, you know. Right before I had met him, I had no interest in being in a relationship, because the one that I had been in before him was years ago, but it had made me so guarded up to any part of wanting to be in a relationship that I was kind of like, not really interested at all. But basically, I met him and just head over heels, like, in love with him. And it was crazy. We went on our first date, and it was just the most perfect thing ever. Like, he brought so much spontaneity, if that's the right term, into my life. which I never really felt was a thing that needed to be part of my life. Like, I was very, you know, tunnel vision focused on my goals and my future, and then I had this man come and sweep me for my feet, you know. So it's just that kind of thing. And our relationship has been, I'm not gonna say perfect, but it really has been so perfect. The communication is pretty much always there. It's really never lacking, and if it is, we're dead. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. That man is the one I'm marrying. That's it. And it's crazy because me and him are like the same person. Like, we finish each other's sentences. We, you know, are like the opposite of each other, but in a good way. It's crazy. I could talk about him forever, honestly, but I don't know, maybe you guys are bored of me talking about this. But I love him so much, and if he's watching this, hi. But he's at work right now. He's also even been going through transformations himself. Like, he's getting this whole new job. You know, he was talking to me about, you know, his own emotions that he's been feeling, what things he's been going through, and sometimes your partner just needs to hear that you're there for them in every aspect. Like, if you need me to be there for you with this silly little thing that you think is stupid, I'm gonna be there for you. Like, a lot of people think that your partner's gonna judge you, but it's not true. It's not true. I would never judge, especially my significant other, because that makes your significant other kind of subconsciously or even consciously sort of put up their own guard towards you. And there's this thing that me and him have talked about before, where when you're doing a lot of little, you know, like mean things, maybe, I told him that this was like in the beginning of our relationship, I think, but basically I was saying to him, like, I am not gonna allow these little cut moments where basically a lot of people say things that are very mean or like kind of like backhanded, and they're like, oh no, but it was just a joke. I really don't. I'm not with that stuff. Like, I'm really not. It's like, if you're gonna disrespect me, just say it. Just say it. But anyway, because then I know. But trust, I've already known. Anyway, basically, I said to him, I was like, I'm not doing this little cut stuff where you say one mean thing and, you know, and then you say another little mean thing. Because if you cut somewhere and then you cut that same place again, it becomes this bigger, you know, you get the analogy. So basically, that was one of the key things that kept our relationship, or is keeping our relationship, very stable. Because if you're doing these constant things to hurt your partner's going to end up having this huge, like, almost like a vendetta towards you, or like this built up resentment because you're hurting your partner so much in little ways that it becomes this huge thing for them. And a lot of people don't care about that stuff, or they don't even notice it, honestly. So I think that a lot of the partnerships, or most of them, if not all, are about that consideration, about caring for that other person. And this could even go back to friendships, honestly. When you realize you're in a one-sided friendship, or you realize, what else? Even one-sided partnerships, like friendships can be partnerships. Doesn't matter. Whatever you relate with or resonate with, which I will completely understand in every aspect. I've been in multiple different kinds of partnerships, and it is just really about being considerate and caring for that person in ways where you're not making excuses as well. You're not saying, oh, I've just been really tired. I haven't been able to text you. I mean, seriously, like, are you kidding me? You couldn't text me, hello, how are you today? Okay, whatever. Doesn't really make any sense to me. It doesn't seem like it takes any longer than a minute or 30 seconds. I digress. But I just never really found a reason other than your partnership is lacking the consideration to kind of, how do I word this correctly? Like, if your partnership is lacking, you're either telling that person the partnership is lacking in this, this, and this, or just this, or the partnership is going to build up that resentment, that vendetta, that partnership is going to build up that negative energy, that negative stuff, and then one day you're gonna snap, and you're gonna be like, oh, well, you haven't done this in so long, and you've been really inconsistent with our friendship. Well, I've been consistent every day. So, sometimes you just need to fall out with certain partnerships or fall out with certain friends or relationships even, because of that inconsistency, because of that inconsiderateness. Is that a word? I don't even know, but like, you'll find yourself maybe falling out with people that don't consider you enough, that don't care for you, or they'll think about you during the day. It is not that hard to text one of your friends, or even family members, or even your significant other during the day, and be like, hey, thinking about you, I love you, It's not hard to do that. And I don't know, it just always felt like it's an excuse of a friend, or it's an excuse of a partnership, or it's an excuse of a connection. If you are putting in all the work and the other person isn't putting in their end, it's like, I'm doing my part and you're not doing yours. So what's the point? I am no longer pursuing connections with people that are making me feel like I'm only doing my part and they're kind of just there, or they're going through other things. I've gone through I'm going through this mental thing, and I really don't feel like texting. I don't feel like calling. I understand all of that, and I've even experienced that as well. But I have never, ever understood why people cannot find the time of day to text their friend, hello, or hi, or I care about you, how are you, that thing. Because once you start being consistently inconsiderate, it's done. Like, there's no room in my life for inconsistent and inconsiderate people at all. There's no room for it. So, yeah, maybe that's my message today. I want to keep this one shorter than the other one, because the other one was almost 2 hours, I think. So, I hope you guys maybe got a message from this today. Feel free to comment anything that you would like to comment. Oh, I got this new bracelet, guys. Isn't it so cute? It's like a permanent one that like never comes off. But anyway, yeah, this is gonna be the end of my live for today, and I'll see if I'll record a video tonight. But if I don't, then probably tomorrow, maybe outside if it isn't raining, or Or maybe I'll record when it's raining. I don't know. What do you guys? Let me know. But I will see you guys. And thank you. Have a great day as well. Nighttime for me right now, so I'm probably gonna go to sleep soon. Oh my gosh, my hair looks crazy. But thank you guys for watching, and comment anything that you disagree or agree with, or maybe have a different perspective on, you know. But I hope you guys all have a blessed day and night or evening, whatever it is for you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.